Right, here I am. Yeah, all the way from Suffolk Triumph on the Triumph Tiger 660 Sport. Yeah, absolutely marvellous in like a Arctic Ice White or something like that. Some fancy name, I have no doubt. And the reason I'm on it is because, one, it's all new, and for once Triumph have actually put more on than they've taken off. Yeah, absolutely incredible. But what I need to do is stop and find somewhere to do a walk around so I can talk about it a bit better in a bit more peace. Yeah, I think this is a 30 mile an hour zone, but I will catch you as soon as I find somewhere. So here we are, Triumph Tiger 660 Sport. Absolutely beautiful, I think, for as far as adventure bikes go. And this is sort of a more than a dual bike, I think, in this lovely, I don't know what they call it, Arctic white or something like that, polar bear white. It's going to be somewhat fancy, isn't it? Ice white, maybe, I don't know, but I think it looks pretty decent. And for once, like I said, Triumph have added to a bike instead of taking things away. They've actually added to the Tiger 660. They've added cruise control. Works at one touch cruise control. It saves all that faffing about up and down and pushing that button and then another button. Push it once to turn it on, and then you push it to actually start it at the speed that you're going, and then just touch your brake, touch the button, wind the throttle on, wind it off, and that stops it. But I'll show you when we get going. What else have they done? The braking, Nissan brakes front and back, but they are optimal cornering ABS. Yeah, that's what they call it, don't they? And I assume that means that if you brake when you're going around a corner, it's not going to lock that wheel up, so you're not going to go away. Don't know if it's front and back, I assume it is. So yeah, two major things they've added. They've also changed the shape slightly in line with the Tiger 800, the new Tiger 800, which I've yet to get on. Yeah. That engine, obviously, just the same, sweet as a nut. 81 brake horsepower. Oh, naughty boy, I don't know if you'll hear that. Yeah, 81 brake horsepower, 62 newton meters of torque. Ample. You don't need any more than that. This is enough for all riding. Yeah, you could go touring on it. Mrs. Thames said the seat height here is 835, which I'm stood on a bit of a hill behind here, so I might make it look a bit smaller. But this bit is considerably higher, so if you have difficulty throwing your leg over, you'll struggle with this. But Mrs. Thames noticed she felt this seat was pretty small and quite a long way from where you sit here. But it is still quite central over the back wheel. So I imagine it's not going to affect the handling too bad, but I need to get Mrs. Tame on the back to find that out. This has got extras that don't come, but well worth having, I think. Hand guards keep that winter wind off, and branches if you go off-road. And this has got engine cases, covers here and here, and on this side here as well. It also comes with something else they've added, a quick shifter as standard. Absolutely wonderful. What a brilliant bike. What a brilliant first touring bike as well, if you're going down the adventure route. But also a good commuter. You could do some gravel roads and things with it, no trouble. It's not particularly heavy, about 207 kilos, something like that. I can't remember exactly, but there'll be all the specs in the description underneath the video. Yeah, so I think with that, I mean, adjustable screen. Oh, the clock. We've got to talk about clocks because they're important to people, aren't they? It's got all the information you want on it. It's got connectivity, obviously, as standard. So you can wire your phone to it and do stuff. But yeah, I mean, none of that's of any interest to me, really. I just like to get on and ride them. And I guess with that, I don't think I've forgot anything. Oh, the tank, yeah. 17.2 litres. That's a good size, isn't it, for a 660? So you won't be filling it up very often, but it'll be more expensive when you do. Anyway, let's get back on and go and see what it rides like. Yeah. Right, here we are, back on board, ignition on. Brrr, ding. Wonderful. Oh, and there we go. Let's get going. Yeah, and we're off. Yeah, so quite a nice looking bike, I think. And we've got lots of 30 miles an hour to do. But this is very capable at any speed. Yeah, no trouble down the A14 or these back bumpy roads. It's not a great big lump like some adventure bikes, so you won't have much difficulty managing it. Oh, what's round here? Let's get up here. And the quick shifter works just fine. Yeah, even at low speeds. We'll get down here. Weak bridge. I think we'll be alright on you. If we were on a Super Meteor, we might be in trouble. But we're not. We're on a small adventure bike. And it is just wonderful. A bit of buffeting from that screen, but I've got it up at the highest site. Lots of gravel here. And I do know that the bridge is actually smashed up down here. So hopefully get my visor down a bit. That makes it a bit better for you, hopefully. Yeah, look at that. Someone's had a bit of a crash there, I reckon. Good old Suffolk roads. Suspension handles it all really well. Yeah, oh, look at that marvellous windmill. Yeah, so without further ado, what we'll do is we'll get onto the senses test and we can have a mutter about how it goes as we go. Yeah. So, straight off, what does it taste of? Well, is this another ice cream? I don't think it can be. I think this could be something a bit more special than that, because it is so versatile, and something that's versatile, things that have come back to fashion. They were the poor man's dessert, shall we say. Rice pudding or bread and butter pudding. What do you reckon? I mean, bread and butter pudding used to be stale bread that you were going to throw away, and some currants thrown in that used to be twopence a bag. Yeah, but now it's like in the poshest restaurants. Same with rice pudding, made with the creamiest cream. Yeah, and nutmeg on top. So I reckon it could be one of those. But whatever it'd be, it would be fulfilling. Yeah. So there you go. That's what it'd taste of. Smell. It's a brand new bike. So, you know, just smells divine. Say hello to the chap. Oh, look at that, 2 of them, a copper. Did you see that? Yeah, so no trouble with smell. Then what have we got to look at? Well, and this is always controversial, isn't it, with adventure bikes. I think it looks pretty decent. Yeah, I do. There are uglier adventure bikes, I think, but if you're buying this bike, it's not just the looks you're buying it for. More important than the looks are its capabilities, and this is a very capable bike. It's quick, it's light, it's versatile, and more importantly, it's comfortable. The ergonomics of it, I'm 6'2", and I have no problem with the seating position at all. Could sit here all day. Yeah, so I think to look at, it's a cracking looking bike. Handling is divine, it's just perfect. Yeah, you're not going to go scratching on it, but you possibly could. The suspension works really well. I mean, I am on terrible roads at the moment, and it's riding everything pretty damn smooth. So yeah, to look at, a cracking looking bike. To touch and feel, well, this is the cheapest of the adventure bikes, if you don't include the 400X, which is also a marvellous bike for adventuring. This, you could go across Europe on it. This, you could have no worries on the motorways for long distances. The screens cause buffeting. They do. It doesn't matter what you're on. There are very few bikes where you can eliminate it altogether. I mean, basically, you just need something the size of you, wouldn't you? And then you'd have all sorts of handling issues. So the quality, they haven't skimped too much, no. And like I say, they've thrown bits onto it instead of taking bits off of it. So there you go. That's what I'd say about the quality. The sound, that triple engine, when you wind this engine up, it starts to sound like a screaming two-stroke. I love it. I love it on the Trident. I've never wound one of these up, but it's going to be the same because it's basically the same exhaust and engine. What else? Yeah, you could put a pipe on it. Why would you though, is what I'd say. And then how does it make me feel? I like it. Oh, look at those bikes there. Wonderful. Let's get round here. Yeah, sorry mister, I forgot to indicate. It makes me feel just Jim Dandy. The quick shifter is acceptable. It's not the best, but it's certainly acceptable. Yeah. As a general feeling though, I love it. I really do. I think they've done a cracking job. Let's get down here and then down here. Marvellous. So that's it. So I've got it for a few days. No doubt you'll get another video on it before I have to take it back to Suffolk Triumph, and when I do, I'll do a final. Oh, we're not in the national speed limit. I'll do a final thoughts on it. Yeah, ta-ta.